welcome to my Reteach It project. I'm doing it on Doing Gender. Before we start, pause the video and follow the instructions on the screen. What is Doing Gender? Cadence West and Don H. Zimmerman suggested that gender is not simply what someone is, but something that we do. Doing gender is a sociological concept explaining that gender is the performance or display of gender by actions or behavior. Doing gender can be intentional, but most of it's unintentional, as everything we do can be categorized into a display of gender. This is what we determine by our understanding of feminine and masculine traits and what they mean according to being a man or woman. Going deeper, West and Zimmerman explain that doing gender contains two parts: gender performance and accountability. Gender performance refers to the actions and behaviors of how we are presenting ourselves. For example, a man that likes makeup or muscles, whichever it is, this is a display of appearance, and that is gender performance. The accountability aspect is made up of three parts: accountability to self, accountability to others, and accountability to society. The factor of accountability when it comes to doing gender means that in any action someone does, there is always going to be some notion of whether it's seen as feminine or masculine. Accountability to self is how you view your actions and behaviors in the means of doing gender. Excluding yourself, everyone has their own beliefs as to what they see as feminine or masculine, and whether you're in a box and no one can see anything you're doing, your actions and appearance are always going to be put up for others in society to determine as feminine or masculine. What are the rules of doing gender? Gender rules are concepts we associate with men and women when it comes to their behavior and appearance. The rules of doing gender consist of actions or behaviors we do that signal masculinity or femininity. For example, a Western gender rule is that at the beach, men wear swim trunks and women wear bikinis of some sort. The rules are not necessarily a list of rules that everyone is formally taught and either follow or don't. The rules are general ideas that we understand and learn from birth, as your forename given at birth is chosen based on what sex you're determined and gender you're expected to present. Another example could be when you're growing up, you see that boy toys have monster trucks and sports, and girl toys have baby dolls and ballerinas. These shape our ideas on the differences between men and women and what they should and shouldn't associate with. Instead of going deeper, we're going around the world and back in time with gender rules. As mentioned before, gender rules aren't a set of rules everyone reads and follows. They are rules that we learn, and when it comes to absorbing and learning things as we grow, it's going to vary by time and place. Gender rules vary in different cultures as what they dictate as masculine or feminine. In Scotland, men wear skirts called kilts. In Arab countries, pink is a gender-neutral color, and in Japan, certain florals are considered masculine. In the United States, it's almost the opposite, as this would be seen as feminine to be wearing, for instance, a pink floral skirt. The same idea comes with time as we grow and change. The ideas of what is considered masculine or feminine change. Heels used to be seen as masculine shoes, and now they're seen as feminine. The changing of differences in gender rules is not necessarily an act of breaking them, but just an example of how gender rules are able to change considering the time and area and what is agreed upon as normal then. Why do we follow the rules? We do gender for various reasons, whether it's unintentional or intentional. Doing gender out of habit consists of doing things that follow your gender rules and is unintentional. Peeing while sitting down for women or peeing while standing for men is an example. On the other hand, sometimes we engage in activities and behaviors that align with our gender for pleasure. Engaging in activities that follow our gender rules can feel good, so we do them and continue to. Maybe a group of girls want to go to the mall, shop, gossip, and have fun. That's displaying femininity. Or a guy wants to go to the gym and work out so he can be strong. That's a display of masculinity. Both are doing gender for the fun of it, as it follows their gender rules, and it makes them feel good. Doing gender could also be for others, as a way to conform to their beliefs, whether it is following the gender rules or breaking them. Doing gender for others is to be seen a certain way by the people they are performing for. This could be a teenage boy who enjoys makeup over physical activity, but plays sports with his fathers, so he's not called a sissy. It could also be a group of girls lowering their banter in front of a group of guys they find attractive so they can be seen as cute and quiet and more feminine. It is to conform to the gender rules to either not have to deal with gender police or do it to appear more that gender. Feeling rebellious? Break the gender rules. Unlike how it sounds, breaking the gender rules is not always an act of rebellion and is not a bad thing to do. Some gender rules are impossible to follow even when trying to. For example, my mother breaks a lot of gender rules. Growing up as a single mother, despite women only being nurturing and caring, my mom had to pick up the strong, protective, and independent traits as there was not a man in the house to do so. She could have tried to be more feminine, but at the end of the day, bills had to be paid, furniture had to be built, and I had to be taken care of. She was breaking gender rules of only being nurturing and staying at home and not working, but not out of rebellion, because she had to. Some gender rules are broken for pleasure. An example from a video explaining drag, Trixie Mattel explains that men have been dressing up in women's clothes and vice versa for probably as long as humans have been wearing clothes. Dressing up in drag is breaking gender rules for pleasure. They enjoy it, so they do it. Some people break gender rules to make a statement or be rebellious. An example of this is when Harry Styles wore a dress a little while ago. This caused an outrage as many people did not know how to feel about it, but definitely set a statement. Something that happens when breaking the gender rules is that some people might start gender policing. This is a negative reaction to the broken gender rules and is aimed at promoting gender conformity. This could include comments like butch towards a masculine woman or pussy to a feminine man. These comments are in hopes of having them to conform to gender rules instead of them being themselves. Have you ever gender policed someone, like asking your female friend why she'd cut her hair short? Someone I know who has broken countless gender rules and deals with gender policing all the time is my now 15-year-old cousin. She has short hair, is 5'9", plays basketball, and is visually strong. Growing up with her, she always liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, played basketball, and wore boy clothes. She is very comfortable in her identity with being a girl. She's not transgender. Something she has dealt with more than I can imagine is gender policing, whether it's kids at her school, random strangers, or people at her basketball games. I asked her some of the things people have said to her. Are you a boy or a girl? Why do you look like that? You should try wearing dresses and makeup. I don't believe you're a girl. People try to gender police her on how she does gender. Lots of people make rude comments or purposely misgender her just to make a dig because she doesn't conform with their idea on how a girl should be doing gender. Some of it has worked, as now she has a belly ring and nostril piercing and hopes she conforms more to what girls her age do. She also has in her TikTok bio, I'm a girl, as many people there get confused. At the end of the day, she's a 15-year-old girl who plays basketball and wears gym shorts and baggy clothing because she likes it. Other people should not have a problem with how someone does gender, whether it's me, you, or her. Her interest in basketball and wearing baggy clothing is the same as how I like to sew and wear skirts. It makes both of us happy. And she should not have to deal with constant judgment because she's expressing herself. Hopefully getting to see a little deeper into someone you'd normally gender police, whether you're doing it with malicious intention or not, stops you, and maybe helps you understand that they're happy the way they are and they're doing it because they like it. Now that you know a little more about doing gender, let's reflect on your survey results. According to the results, if you had more strawberries, your gender performance aligns more to feminine traits, and if your answers had more lemons, your gender performance aligns more to masculine traits. Do you believe this is inaccurate according to your accountability to self or how you view your gender performance? If not, that's okay. Sometimes it's just good to reflect on yourself. Thank you for listening to my presentation of doing gender. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a little bit more about doing gender and hopefully yourself.